Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of New York Giants Corner. What happened here? Sorry, the intro. Oh, I see what's going on. I'm sorry. I still, I apologize. I had the YouTube channel up, so I was hearing myself once and hearing myself twice. So I apologize about that. But anyway, welcome back to the latest episode of New York Giants Corner here at Toiletstotitles. I want to apologize to everyone for not being able to do my episode last week. Life just got really busy with work and everything, and I do apologize. I had a really cool topic I wanted to talk about last week, which I'm going to try to weave into this episode, not spend too much time on it, because I've got three mock drafts that I want to do hopefully with you. I'd like to see people in the chat, and I'll even let you make the picks. But I'm going to do a defensive centric draft first, as if it's possible the New York Giants may wind up going defensive heavy, in this draft. And what if it were an offensive centric draft? What if the team were like, you know what, we shored up enough on the defense, maybe outside of the cornerback, shored up enough of the defense in the offseason that we kind of want to focus on offense. So in that scenario, that'll be the second draft scenario. I'm going to focus on offense only, and then the final third one is going to be just a real mock draft on, I don't know, even right now, I don't know if I'm going to do like what I think the Giants will do or what I would do. Might be a combination of both, like the players that I like, so in that final draft. So anyway, first draft will be defensive centric. Second one will be offensive centric. And the third one will just be like a real final mock draft, probably on combination of, where I think the Giants might go with the value that's present in the mock draft simulator versus combined with the players that I like, and also trying to read the tea leaves in terms of the top 30 visits that the Giants allegedly had with players, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about last week. I kind of wanted to dive into the detail of that, just couldn't do it. Just really busy with work and other stuff with family and everything. Nothing bad, everything good, but just really really busy. Couldn't do it. Anyway, guys, before I get into the content, I'm going to get the bells and whistles out of the way. Before I do that, we check out the comment. Dennis Noel, how are you, buddy? Joe knows. Happy Draftmas Eve. Yes, happy Draftmas Eve is right, Dennis. And everybody, I just want everyone to know that here at Toilets and Titles, we have a sister network, the College Football Nation, and combined with them, we have had boots on the ground this entire draft offseason at Senior Bowl and um, and the Combine. And I know Dennis was at the Combine. I don't recall if Dennis was actually Dennis. If you're still listening, were you also at the Senior Bowl? But we had like five guys. We had like five guys. Hey, Giovanni Reyes, thanks for checking in. Excited for tomorrow? That is damn right. I am super excited, and it's like it really is like Christmas Eve for us football fans, right? Like all excited as kids. Like, what are we going to unwrap tomorrow, right? It's just like it's exciting. There's a lot. I think the Giants have set themselves up really well for this upcoming draft in terms of some of the players they sign, especially on defense. In terms of they can let the draft fall to them. We really did a good job of shoring up the defensive line. Dennis was not at the Senior Bowl, but Dennis was at the Combine, so I want to give him props for that. And Dennis, are you going to be at the draft with Jared um, this weekend? Let me know. Just let me know. I know Jared's going to be there. Anyway, the point that I'm just getting to before was that here at Toilets and Titles and the College Football Nation, we have had boots on the ground at Senior Bowl and the Combine, and we're going to have boots on the ground. All right, so Dennis won't be. Dennis, I forgive you. It's okay. Dennis made it to the Senior Bowl, and that is good enough because that's more than I was able to do. But we've had boots on the ground, Senior Bowl, Combine, and now we're going to have Jared Gray over at the NFL Draft. You know, uh, just covering stuff live, dropping in, giving us some updates, tweeting, providing tweeting updates too. So it's gonna be really cool. But not too many smaller networks like ourselves can say that they've had boots on the ground at all three big events for the draft. That is the Senior Bowl, the Combine, and the NFL Draft. But Toils to Titles and the College Football Nation, we're doing it. We've had boots on the ground at all three. So in the future, you're looking for draft content. This is one of the places, or actually, it's the place to go to. But I don't want to brag too much. It's the place to go to. So we've got boots on the ground. We take the stuff seriously because we're really passionate about NFL football, college football, fantasy football, anything to do with football. We love it. But anyway, going back to Giovanni Reyes. Giovanni, I am so damn psyched for tomorrow, and it's been a long time coming. It's gonna be a great weekend. I know that every Sunday after the draft is over, I'm exhausted, but it's a great tired exhaustion. It's there's been so much excitement, like so much buildup, so much excitement, and just like kind of like there's a draft recovery after that. There's definitely a recovery process after that. So, but I'm so damn looking forward to it. I'm just as a Giants fan, it's gonna be unusual actually having to wait till like the end of the first round because we haven't had to do that since like 2017. So it's a very unusual place to be in. And I hope the Giants don't trade up in the first round. I don't think there's any type of player that's going to put us in the upper tier. And then next year, the first tier teams this year, we still have some building to do. We still have holes on our team. We still lack depth in many key places. Now is not the time, in my opinion, to draft up for anyone, especially in this class. Not draft up much. Like I wouldn't want to give up, this year's second round pick or anything like that. If anything, I'd like to trade down in the first round, if possible, and accumulate hopefully like another second or third or fourth round pick. You know, one of those higher mid round picks, not back end seventh, sixth. I don't care about that, but I'd like to do that, and because I do think I don't like the top heaviness of this draft. I think it's lacking in top heaviness, I should say. But I do think there's good depth and there's really good value, in the second round all the way to the seventh round. I think there's really, really good value in many different positions. And so that's why I'd kind of like to, trade back to try to get an extra second or third or fourth round pick. Because I think there's going to be really good value between the second round and even the fifth round. There's going to be really good value. That is where I want my team, our beloved New York Giants, to kick ass. To kick ass. I don't want to focus too much on a first round pick where it's the end of the first round anyway. Anyway, let me get the bells and whistles out of the way, people. So again, before we get into the content, before we get into our mock drafts, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Give us that 5-star Apple review. We really appreciate everything like that. Really helps us out a lot. Apple Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Podbean, and Spotify is where you can find our content and videos. Our beautiful website, toiletstotitles.com. Everything we produce winds up going up on our website anyway. Videos, articles, we cover fantasy football, NFL, NCAA draft, college football in general, and the NFL draft. Check it out. We cover everything. We're a team of like it fluctuates anywhere from like 12 to 15 people between the two networks, between the two networks, Toss the Titles and the College Football Nation. There's probably around 15 of us combined. We put out a lot of good quality content. Really proud of our team, and we just had a really great year. We're coming up in our third year next month in May, and we just recently passed 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who helped us reach that big milestone, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you to everybody for helping us reach that big milestone. And can't do without you and without your appreciation of us. So thank you so much. Just want to say that again. Big announcement. We have partnered a few months ago officially partnered with at the CFB Nation. They handle most of the college content, and when those players are graduating and going into the draft, T2T, that is Toilets to Titles, handles most of that. And shout out to our current Patreon supporters. We appreciate you appreciating us. Thank you so much. If you'd like to further support our Toilets to Titles and the College Football Nation, please go to patreon.com/Toilets to Titles, and you can learn how you can further support our programs. And last but not least, Gilded. We have our own Toilets to Titles chat in the Gilded app, and we're up to like 90 or 100 people in there now. It's really cool. Anything to do with football, we talk about. You have any questions, hop on in. We're happy to talk about it. In the NFL season, fantasy football, you have any questions, come on in. You're going to get, with any questions you might have, you're going to get plenty of responses. So a lot of fun's happening in our Toilets to Titles Gilded Chat. If you'd like to join it, just reach out to us, hit us up on Twitter, and we'll get you in. But like again, we are in Gilded. That's where our personal chat is. Pretty much anyone's invited. Just reach out to us. Anyway, guys. All right, let's get to serious business over here. The content. Um, okay, so we're going to start off with the defensive centric draft, and this time, the previous one or two times that I did a mock draft in the past, like over the past month, I used the PFF, Pro Football Focus Draft Simulator. and they are very good. However, there's another one that I like a lot, and that's called the PFN as in Nancy. So it's Pro Football Network Draft Simulator, and we've actually had one of their contributors over there, Oliver J. Hodgkinson, as a frequent guest on here at Toss the Titles. And I like the PFN mock draft simulator a lot as well. And I noticed that they recently updated their big board. So I think their big board I think it's very realistic. Like any mock draft simulator you do, especially in the first round, when you're picking number 25, like the Giants are, you're going to see who's available. There are going to be some players who are available who kind of fall there where it's not realistic. Um, and it's just whether it's PFF or PFN, it's just sometimes it's just not going to be realistic, but it's the tools that we have to work with. And so, but I just want to acknowledge that, listen, when we start running the simulator, there might be some players there, like a Brian Branch, safety out of Alabama, who I love. And if he actually were to fall to the Giants, I know people aren't focused on safety. He's a special talent at 25. I'd probably take that guy over most of the cornerbacks that would be left for us still, assuming like the big four cornerbacks are taken before we draft. If Brian Branch is there, I'd probably take him over Emmanuel Forbes, who I do like a lot. Julius Brents, who I do like a lot. I'd probably take Branch. So I don't think he'd be there, but you're going to see something like that sometimes. So I'm just giving you advanced warning that I realize this is not 100% realistic, but I think it's realistic enough to do a mock draft. Anyway, this simulation again is going to be what if the Giants say, hey, you know what? We're going to get an interior offensive lineman. Okay. So what I'm going to allow for is that the team is going to get at least one interior offensive lineman in the midish rounds, a wide receiver in the midish in the mid rounds, maybe an earlier round, but somewhere at least in the middle rounds. And then maybe we'll take like maybe like a tight end or another interior offensive lineman or maybe a swing tackle later in the draft. But most of the premium picks are in this scenario are going to be defensive minded, where maybe the front office is like, we really, really want to shore up the defense, bring in more talent there. So that's what this mock is. And again, we're going to do 3 mocks. This is the first one, and this one's going to be defensive centric. Okay, guys. So let me share screen. Here we go. I think everyone can see that pretty well. All right, guys. So again, this is the PFN, Pro Football Network Draft Simulator. As you can see, I've got the Giants selected, 7 rounds. I have it on fast. Don't want to see every pick go. We do need to get through this at some point. But we will see who is left on the board for us to pick. All right, let's draft everybody. Again, this is the defensive centric mock draft, and then we'll do offense, and then we're just going to do like a real final mock draft. All right, I'm going to stay away from the trades. So I don't want to think about the stuff too much. I'm going to reject all trades. I'm not going to include trades here. Okay, so who do we have left? Nolan Smith, Brian Branch, Brian Brees. Oh, listen, this is a defensive centric draft. It's kind of fallen for us. Kalijah Cansey, like, all right, this I think is somewhat of. I do like the PFN draft simulator. I do think this is somewhat unrealistic. However, you look at some of the other guys who are gone. Like I do like that. I think it's realistic that the top cornerbacks are gone, and quite a few of the top wide receivers, except for Zay Flowers. I think Zay Flowers in a real scenario would be gone. I think he's actually going to be the second or the third wide receiver taken off the board. I think Jackson Smith and Najigba will probably be the first one. I think Zay Flowers will be the third. Um, the quarterbacks are going to go, the top level cornerbacks. Um, but so I really, in real life, I don't see Nolan Smith being there for us. Brian Branch, Brian Breesy. I would love to have these options sitting for us at 25, though. I would love it. We do need help, and I take it very seriously. We do need help on the interior offensive line. I take that very seriously. But I feel like I don't think there's all that much difference between, say, John Michael Schmitz, who's probably still around, and say Joe Tittman, or even a handful of other guys that could be had in the second, third, or fourth round. I don't think there's that huge of a difference. I like John Michael Schmitz, and if the Giants stick him at 25, I'm cool with it. But I don't think there's a huge drop off between JMS and a few of the other centers that I like in this draft. And I will try to take a center. That is one of the offensive players I will try to take in this mock scenario. But we're looking over here: Nolan Smith, Brian Branch, Brian Breesy. These two, listen, honestly, even with Brian Breezy, if he were there, I'd have to think about it. We just seriously shored up our defensive line this past over the past few weeks. We had a lot of depth, really good depth. I'm excited about it. However, I don't know how much longer the team is going to keep Leonard Williams and his contract around. Brian Breezy was originally coming into this draft class as like a top as a top 12 or top 15 pick. I never saw him as that high. I like him, but I never saw him as that high. However, at 25, Brian Breezy would be great value. However, in this scenario, with both Nolan Smith and Brian Branch, I'm not even looking at Brian Breezy at this point because I have these two guys in my mind above him uh, on the big board. And I like Nolan Smith a lot. I'm going to go with Brian Branch, but I just want to explain myself. I'm going to go. I like Nolan Smith a lot. If Brian Branch weren't here, and if the choice were between Smith and Breezy, I'm going with Smith. He's a little on the smaller side, but the guy actually has done, at least in college, did a very good job of getting to the quarterback, getting pressures on the quarterback, but also plays the run really well, plays the pass very well, and he is a leader. He is a leader. This guy knocked it out of the park in interviews at the combine, and people were just raving about this guy, and understandably so. You got to love Nolan Smith. Like I said, he's a little on the smaller side, but listen, a lot of these really fast guys are. And I think he would be a great fit in a Wink Martindale defense. I think Wink would be moving him all over the place. You'd never have to take him off the field. And so, however, I think Brian Branch, Wink Martindale loves his safeties. And I think Brian Branch is a great versatile piece. We need help in the secondary. We do need some additional depth at edge and just the linebacker core. I'm sure Nolan Smith would be playing outside linebacker a lot, like dropping into coverage, and he would do a good job with that. So you can't go wrong in my opinion. But I really want to shore up the secondary. Um, Losing Julian Love, I think, is going to hurt us a lot more than people think. He wasn't a Pro Bowler, but he was a very solid player wherever you put him, and he also stayed healthy too. Remember when Xavier McKinney went down with the injury, Julian Love, had the green dot. He was the one who was basically the captain of the defense out there on the field, and he did a very admirable job. Very smart player, very dependable player, and I think Julian Love, we're going to miss him more than most people realize. I'm going to take Brian Branch in this scenario because I think he's just even more special than Nolan Smith at the position, the safety position that he plays. Um, Finding a value for safety like Brian Branch is not easy. It's not easy. I'm not saying Nolan Smith is easy to find, but I think Brian Branch is harder. Very, very versatile player himself. I'm taking Brian Branch. Remember, this is a defensive centric draft. And I'm not ignoring offense completely, but it's going to be a defensive centric mock draft this first scenario. Okay, again, no trades. We're going to go through this. All right, so staring us in the face at 57. Oh, man. You know what? All right, I love the value. I like some of the players here. I'm not a huge fan of this linebacking class at all. I don't think any of them are really first round value. That includes Drew Sanders. That includes Trent Simpson. The only linebacker I would take, at least for the Giants in the first round, is Jack Campbell out of Iowa, because he's more of an interior linebacker, and that's what we need. Uh, Campbell is a very thorough player. I think he's gone. I think he's off the board. Um, Man, if he's not, I'll think about. No, he's gone. Okay, so Jack Campbell is gone. In my mind, Jack Campbell is the only first round value linebacker in this class for me. I like Drew Sanders in the second round. That I'm cool with. I like him a lot. Got Luke Musgrave. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants looked at that, add some talent and value to the tight end room, but I don't think they'd be doing that in the second round, especially since we picked up Darren Waller. But don't think that this team is necessarily having Darren Waller is going to prevent them from looking to upgrade the tight end talent in this draft. I think they very well could. I just don't see it being round one or two. I can't see that. Um, there is another edge rusher here, Tuli. I always forget how to pronounce his name, but I'll just say Tuli out of USC. If I was going to take an edge, it would have been in the first round with Nolan Smith. Um, I'm not going to do that. We could use depth at edge, definitely, but I'm not going to do that because I'm looking at Julius Brents. I'm looking at Drew Sanders. I'm looking at Julius Brents, Cody Mock. Now, like I said, this first draft mock draft I'm doing is defensive centric. I'm not ignoring completely ignoring offensive picks. I do want to get at least one offensive lineman, and I do want to get at least one wide receiver, and maybe a running back in the latter rounds. So, man, I got to tell you though, I think I have to go in this scenario. I'm going with Julius Brents. I'm building up our secondary, and Wink Martindale loves secondary players. He loves press man corner, which Julius Brents is, and he loves versatile safeties, which Brian Branch is. Um, Cody Mock, I love Cody Mock. This dude can play basically all five positions on the offensive line. I don't know how he would do at center, but he has played all five positions at North Dakota State. Really shot up the big boards. Really impressed over at Senior Bowl. And I love the dude. He's got a cool attitude. He's missing a few teeth. He's got long hair. The guy looks like a Viking. I love him. He'd be fun to have on a team. And Antonio Johnson is a safety I like a lot, but we just got a safety. Marvin Mims Jr., Giants fans. This in real life, this may be the wide receiver that we get. And if we get him, it's probably going to have to be in the second round because I don't think he'll last in the third round. Marvin Mims Jr., who we did have a top 30 visit with. This dude's a baller out of Oklahoma. I know some people don't, a lot of people may not know his name because they're more focused on Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith, and Najigba. Understandably so. Remember the name Marvin Mims. This guy, they met with him. The Giants met with him for a reason. This guy's a baller. He's a really, really good wide receiver. He's not that big. He's maybe like, yeah, he's 5'10. That's what I thought, 183 pounds. He's not just a slot receiver. All right, he's not. That's mostly where he would play, but I can see Brian Dable and Mike Kafka drooling to scheme with Marvin Mims. I'd like it. You got Keanu Benton over here also, who's available, who could help, add more depth on the defensive line. Gervon Dexter. I'll be honest with you, I am not crazy about this defensive tackle class, and I'm not looking to take a defensive tackle um, in the second or third round. If I were going to take a defensive tackle or defensive lineman in the first, it would have to be Cansey if he were to fall those because he's a penetrator. He can get heat on the quarterback from the interior defensive line. Cansey can do that. If I'm taking an interior defensive lineman in the first round, the dude's got to be able to bring pressure from the interior, and Cansey can do that. Brian Breesy could be a good match for us too in the first round, but those are first round guys. And Jalen Carter, of course, but he's never fallen to us. These other guys, I'm not crazy about. I don't think they're. I wouldn't touch them in the second or third round. I'd take a defensive tackle maybe in the fourth round in this class. I'm not crazy about Keanu Benton. I'm not crazy about Gervon Dexter. I really wouldn't touch these guys until the fourth round, and they will be gone by then. But I'm okay with that because I'm not in that impressed with them. All right, I'm looking at so far we've got. I took Brian Branch in the first round of this defensive centric mock draft. I'm looking at Julius Brents. I'm looking at Cody Mock as one of my only offensive options that I'll take in this draft. Clark Phillips third is out there, but I like Julius Brents more. Marvin Mims, like I said, I'm not ignoring offense, so I'm looking at him. All right, those are my those are the guys I'm focused on. Julius Brents, Cody Mock, Marvin Mims, and Drew Sanders, but I'm not crazy about the linebackers in this class. All right, so I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Julius Brents. I'm really gonna help out the secondary a lot here. We kind of need it, and I think we can get some good value in the offensive line particularly at center and wide receiver a little later. Again, I'm not doing drafts. I'm not doing trades, excuse me. All right, so Tyler Scott. Here's a guy I think I'm going to take with this third round pick. Tyler Scott, we had a top 30 visit with this guy. This guy's got Dable Kafka written all over him. A wide receiver out of Cincinnati. He's only 5'9". This dude is explosive. Watch his tape. You're going to like him a lot. You'll see why he would absolutely be a fit for Dable and Kafka. He's only 5'9", but this guy is fast. He's an explosive athlete. He's got good long speed as well. He can take it to the house. So he's not just explosive off the line. He can take it to the house, Tyler Scott. But I am worried that we already have Wan'Dale Robinson, who's like, what, 5'8", 5'7"? That does scare me. But Tyler Scott, I see as a real possibility. Trey Palmer is up there as well, and he's 6 foot. I'm just not that crazy about Trey Palmer. He's good. I like Tyler Scott more, even though he's a lot shorter. Got Ivan Pace Jr. We already took a safety and a cornerback in the first 2 rounds. Got Tank Dell over here, who you want to talk about explosive. This little guy is going to be scoring a lot of touchdowns in his career. You got Kendre Miller, running back. I'm not looking running back in the 3rd round. And if anything, honestly, if I'm taking a running back in the 3rd round, it's going to be Israel Abanikanda, who is one of my favorite running backs in this draft. This dude is a banger. I love him. He's a rough and tumble running back, and he's the type of guy I like. Dan Henley, linebacker. I like him. I don't like him in the 3rd round. A lot of people are really, really high on him. He's a converted wide receiver. Um, 6 foot, 225 pounds. I like him a lot. He's very raw. And if he happened to be there in the 4th round, I would hop all over him. He will be gone, but I'm not taking him in the 3rd round. He scares me a little bit. Ivan Pace Jr. is a linebacker, a little on the small side, but this dude brings the heat. He's a banger. He hits hard. Tank Dell. So, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to go with Tyler Scott. As much as I love Tank Dell, I'm going to go with Tyler Scott. I'm not even sure if the Giants met with Tank Dell. Doesn't mean that he's not on their radar, but I know they met with Tyler Scott, and so I think that's realistic. Here's another guy you want to remember too. And if we hadn't picked up Darren Waller, Zach Kuntz, a 6'7", 255 pounds, tight end out of Old Dominion. This dude, you gotta look at this guy won the combine for tight ends. Um, Darnell Washington's my favorite tight end, but this guy's athleticism, Zach Kuntz, is unbelievable. He won like every single test except for like the most physical tests, like you know, like the what is it called? The bench presses and the sled where they push the sled. Besides those like physical tests, like any athletic test, Zach Kuntz won pretty much every single one of them, and I'm not exaggerating. It's eye popping when I checked that out the other day. And Zach Kuntz, Kuntz, tight end out of Old Dominion. I'm just bringing him up because he's interesting. Jaden Reed is another wide receiver out of Michigan State that I love a lot. Listen, I don't have a problem doubling down at cornerback either. How Because I like Caillou Blue Kelly, but I'm not going to do that yet. And I like Eli Ricks. I'm not going to, and Darius Rush, but I'm not going to do that yet. I am going to take Tyler Scott. Like I said, I'm not going to completely ignore offense in this particular mock draft. I'm just focused on defense, but I'm not ignoring offense. I'm going to take Tyler Scott. Okay, wide receiver out of Cincinnati. Okay, so 4th round pick. Again, I'm not doing any trades. Ricky Stromberg. This is what I was looking for. I like this guy. 4th round, I think is really good. At least fair value for Ricky Stromberg. Offensive center out of Arkansas. Plays mean. He is physical. 4th round, we need a center. Yeah, we need interior offensive line help. We really need it specifically at center. I like Ricky Stromberg. I'm going to do my due diligence. Brian Young, edge out of Tennessee. Pay attention to this dude. I wouldn't be shocked in terms of edge depth if this is a guy we took in the 4th round for real. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Um, DeMarvion Overshone is a linebacker, very, very fast. He's kind of sloppy with his tackling, but this dude is really fast. He's got Wink Martindale written all over him. I wouldn't be surprised. John Gaines, center out of UCLA. This guy is versatile. Center, guard. I think he can play tackle as well. Don't be surprised if the Giants wind up with this guy in like in the 4th or 5th round. Don't be surprised. I'm going Stromberg. So far, I love my draft, I gotta say. And I'm trying to keep it defensive centric. Okay, so over here. Man, there's a lot of. All right, so I'm going to keep it defensive centric. There's some good picks here. I'm not really into Roy, defensive tackle out of LSU. Gaines, I just took a center. John Gaines would be good depth to add. I'm not going to do that. I'm not looking at running backs right now. McIntosh and Gray. Um, Luke Schoonmaker, tight end out of Michigan. You want to remember this name. I don't think we're going to take a tight end in this class, but it wouldn't shock me again if we wanted to add some later depth potential, some later potential that needs, players that need to be groomed a little bit, and taught the game a little more. I wouldn't be surprised if we look to do that in the tight end room. But I think it's a little too early to take tight end at this point since we just picked up Waller. Andrew Voorhees is a good name to remember. Offensive guard, I constantly see him mocked like in the fourth and fifth round at this point. If this guy hadn't suffered a torn ACL, he easily would have been a third round pick, easily. So when you're looking in the, I think we're in the fifth round right now. Yeah, you're looking at Voorhees, Andrew Voorhees staring you in the face. He could be a good, I guess, risk. He's recovering from a torn ACL. I don't know how much we'd actually see him, but this guy's got solid third round value written all over him. If he can come back from the torn ACL, a-okay, um, he'd be a steal. Um, here are two players I like a lot. I actually like Colby Wooden, defensive tackle out of Auburn, a lot more than Roy out of LSU. I think he can play on our line. He's only 273 pounds, but he's a very strong, physical, and athletic defensive tackle. 6'4". I think he could wind up being a starter down the road if Leonard Williams, leaves. Um, Big size difference. Leonard Williams is a little over 300 pounds. Colby Wooden is like 273 pounds, but he's a strong, physical, pretty explosive defensive tackle. But I'm really looking at Dorian Williams. We need linebacker help, and Dorian Williams, all right, doesn't have the details here, but he's 6'1", 228 pounds. All the best linebackers in this particular class are like 228 pounds, 229 pounds. Dorian Williams is like one of those. This dude is a good sleeper pick out of Tulane. Had a very, very good year. Sideline to sideline player. I like him a lot. Like I said, this is a defensive centric draft. Charlie Jones, wide receiver out of Purdue. You want to remember that name. This is a defensive centric draft. I want to bring more talent to the linebacker room. We badly need it. Dorian Williams in the fifth round, I think, is fair value. I like it a lot. So I'm taking Dorian Williams, linebacker out of Tulane. Okay, we have our second fifth round pick. And this is where I might want to double down at cornerback because I see Riley Moss here from Iowa sitting there. I'm not a huge Riley Moss fan, but man, fifth round, I think that's great value. We still have Colby Wooden, but I'm not going to go there. We got Charlie Jones, wide receiver, 5'11", 175 pounds. I already took a center and I took a wide receiver in Tyler Scott out of Cincinnati. Charlie Jones is another guy who I could absolutely see the Giants take. This guy just knows how to get open. He just knows how to get it done. He is fast. He's quick. You'll like him a lot. I like wide receivers I like talent out of Purdue. He's a gamer, Charlie Jones. I like him a lot. But I'm looking at Jones. I'm looking at Wooden. I'm looking at Riley Moss. I'm gonna keep this. I'm still gonna keep this defensive centric. I'm gonna get us more help on defense. And I'm going to get us Riley Moss. Okay. Okay. This is our sixth round pick. So we have 4 picks left to go. You know what? I'm going to get us more help on the defense. Here's someone I like a lot. Marte Mapu. I don't think this is realistic. I think Mapu is probably going to go fourth round. All right. I think he's going to go in the fourth round. Mapu is out of Sacramento State. He's listed as linebacker. This is a guy who I could see being, and I think the Giants met with him, I believe. I took Mapu. I'm sorry. I meant to actually show you. I was going to take him anyway. I wanted to show you Mapu's. Let's see if they have the details. I don't. He's 6'2", 217 pounds. He's the definition of a tweener. Too small to be a linebacker, but he'd be a really big safety. And I think he's the type of guy that could be really versatile. That Wink Martindale could be, moving all over the place as a chess piece. Safety, linebacker, nickel. He'd be interesting. And it's it'd be kind of scary to take in the earlier rounds, but man, fifth round or sixth round, and I know he's out of a small school, Sacramento State, but I think Mapu is going no later than somewhere in the fourth round, in my opinion. He's an exciting player. I drafted him for a reason. I really helped out our secondary here a lot. Here's a guy, Anthony Orji, linebacker out of Vanderbilt, that if he had if he just got taken one spot ahead of us, I would have taken him at pick 240. I really like him a lot. Good depth. All right, so I want to point out that Alex Forsyth I see consistently mocked, going like in the sixth or seventh round. If we were not to take an interior offensive lineman until then, Alex Forsyth would probably be the guy. He's an experienced center out of Oregon. I like Oregon's offensive lineman. Um, he'd be a cool move, but we already got a center, so I'm not going to double down. Here's a defensive tackle I'm looking at. I also like the idea of taking a quarterback at this point. This is we're in the seventh round, so I'm looking at Malik Cunningham out of Louisville. I'm not a Brit. I do would like to get a running back at this point. I'm not a big fan of Dwayne McBride. Too many fumbling issues there. Charlie Thomas. This guy he's an interesting linebacker. 6'2", 216 pounds. Again, light, but he's fast and he's an excellent special team player. In here at the seventh round, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Evan Hull. You know what? He's 5'10", 209 pound running back out of Northwestern. I do like him. I actually like him more than Dwayne McBride. Uh, and you also have Nesta Jade Silvera, defensive tackle. I'll tell you what, guys. I am going to take I'm going to take Evan Hull. I'm going to strengthen our running back room a little bit here. 243. So I still have Cunningham here. I'm not going to take Forsyth. I took a center already. We got Charlie Thomas. However, you know what I'm going to do? There's a wide receiver who's usually waiting for me here. Justin Shorter. He's here out of Florida. 6'4", 229 pounds. I like this guy. For seventh round value in every simulation, he's always going in the seventh or sixth round. I like Justin Shorter. I'm going to take him. So that's the third offensive line. That's the third offensive player I'm taking in this draft. And then finally, I believe this is our last pick. It is. All right, so I can take a defensive tackle or possibly a backup QB. Actually, you know what? There's a guy I like here even more than Silvera out of Arizona State, and that is Corey Durden. He's 290 pounds, 6'4", out of North Carolina State. I think he'll actually be going earlier than the seventh round, but I like him a lot. I'll do my due diligence. Um, okay. I'm going to take Durden. I'm going to wrap up this defensive centric draft. So, what did I do here? I got for us again. This is a defensive centric draft. I got Brian Branch, Julius Brents. Um, I strengthened the hell of our secondary already. Brian Branch, Julius Brents. Then I went Tyler Scott in the third round, wide receiver out of Cincinnati. I'm kind of thinking maybe the Giants would probably go Charlie Jones, maybe in the third or fourth, but I took Tyler Scott out of Cincinnati. I believe the Giants met with Tyler Scott, if I recall correctly. I took Ricky Stromberg, center out of Arkansas. So our biggest need is center on the offensive side of the ball, center. I address center. I think fair value Ricky Stromberg in the fourth. I wouldn't be surprised if he went in the third round in real life. I got wide receiver Tyler Scott. Okay. I moved back, or I pivoted back to defense. Dorian Williams, impressive linebacker out of Tulane. Fast sideline to sideline guy. This guy balled out this past year. I doubled down at cornerback, Riley Moss. I think fifth round value. I think fifth round is the right spot for Riley Moss. I don't think he's really much better than that, but I think he's got good upside, and I wanted to add more talent to the secondary, and I've done that. Marte Mapu. I would be shocked if he makes it past the fourth round. I took him in I think, the sixth round. This is a guy who's going to be another safety and also a linebacker. He can be moved around. So Evan Hull, running back out of Northwestern. I love that value in the seventh round. Justin Shorter, I went offense again in the latter rounds, though. Justin Shorter, 6'4", 224 pounds. He's bigger than most linebackers at this point. He's bigger than pretty much all safeties in the NFL. I like him a lot. For a late round pick, I definitely have my eyes on Justin Shorter. And then Corey Durden out of North Carolina State. All right, so now I'm going to I want to keep that because I want to take a picture of that those results and PFN. Let's do the. I'm going to bring up another tab here. Hang on, guys. Hang on, and I'll address any comments if there are any. All right, so I'm just going to set it up here again. We're going to do another 7-round mock draft for the Giants, but this one's going to be offensive centric. And let me remove this one here. And let me see. Not slides. What's going on here? Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. That's the one I want. Okay, guys. All right, can you see that? Let's see. All right, so we're going to start a new one. This one's going to be an offensive centric draft. Let me address the comments here. Nate, what's up? Nate Wallen checking in. What's up, Nate? He says, "What up, Joe? Can't wait for tomorrow." Me neither, man. Me neither. And we got Diggs. Diggs is checking in. Hey, what's up, Diggs? Hey, what's up? Hey, man. Good to see you, Diggs. How are you, buddy? I assume you're excited for the draft tomorrow night as well. All right, guys. Offensive centric draft. Let's do this for the Giants. You can see the screen. Yes, you can. All right. I'm going to talk less in this particular mock draft. All right. So again, I'm a no trades. I'm rejecting trades. No trades. Okay, so this is going to be where I'm going to try to focus on offense. This is scary. Again, we've got the defensive players up here again. Um, it's scary in terms of offensive talent left. But again, this is a focus on offense. I want to see. I'll tell you what. Oh, listen, we got Zay Flowers over here. We all love Zay Flowers. That's probably who I'm going to take. But I want to see in terms of offensive linemen. We got John Michael Schmitz is still out there. Um, Joe Tippmann, Steve Avila is a guard I like a lot, who I believe can play center because he did play for 2 years at TCU before moving over to guard. I like Steve Avila a lot. You want to remember this name. He's a really good, solid player. Um, Cody Mock. Cody Mock. But you know what? Zay Flowers. Um, I don't think the front office could pass up. If they were gonna, I don't think they could pass up on Zay Flowers in the first round. Again, this particular mock draft is offensive centric, so I'm going to mostly focus on offensive players for the Giants, with a handful of defensive draft picks, woven in here um, at key moments. But right now, I'll take Zay Flowers. Let's see. And I don't think he'll be there in real life for us at pick 25. No trades, no trades. All right, so let's look. All right, so again, I want to see. All right, so some of my offensive linemen are gone. They're gone. They're all gone. Cody Mock, Joe Tippmann, John Michael Schmitz. They're gone. We got Matthew. I'm not going to dip all the way to pick number 88 for Matthew Bergeron, but he's an interesting player too. Tyler Scott. All right, guys. Mozzie Smith, second round. He's a really good run stopper. I I love his size. You know what? I'm going to take Mozzie Smith here. I'm looking at DJ Turner as well. You know what? I can't take Mozzie Smith there. I can't. But his size is so good. His size is so good. But again, I'm not impressed. He's really strong. He's really, really strong. Um, you know what? I'll take Mozzie Smith here. I will. I do like his value at pick 57. However, I'm also looking at DJ Turner, who's a good cornerback out of Michigan. Um, Clark Phillips III, his size just scares me too much. I can't do it. Jalen Jones, Texas A&M cornerback, I like a lot. All right, guys. All right, so I'm gonna go Mozzie Smith. All right, let's see. Pick 89. All right, man. Let's see. Luke Whippler. I think I'm gonna go that because we need a center. I also want to see if there's any. Jalen Duncan would be interesting because this is a guy who I think would probably play better as a guard um, in the NFL. However, he played tackle in college, and he could be a swing. He could possibly, compete for starting guard and swing tackle for us. Um, so I got to look at him too. Zach Kuntz, man, that dude out of Old Dominion. I don't think I could do it in the third round, but like I said earlier, keep an eye on Zach Kuntz. The real value here, I like Antonio Johnson out of Texas A&M, but I'm trying to keep this offensive centric. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to take Luke Whippler, even though I know Stromberg is out there. I probably should have done that. I'll take Whippler this time. Okay, so this is the fourth round. Okay, fourth round pick number 128. And there's Ricky Stromberg. Damn, I could have went with someone else. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to take a really good, he's not an outside cornerback, but man, this guy is a shutdown slot corner. And if you get him, you can actually flex Aaron Robinson and Cordell Flott to the outside cornerback position more. So he will have a lot of value. Well, first of all, Trevius Hodges-Tomlinson is a shutdown slot corner. So that is super duper talent. Again, if we pick him up, I know he's 5'7", 178 pounds. He's really, really good. Don't be deceived by his size. He's excellent at his job. But he's strictly a slot corner. And even though we have guys who were drafted as slot corners, and both Aaron Robinson and um, and Cordell Flott, both of them can play on the outside. And if you draft Trevius Hodges-Tomlinson, that allows them to play more on the outside. It gives you flexibility. So that's where I'm looking. And yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I also like Mekhi Garner, cornerback out of LSU. I could see he's 6'2", 212 pounds. I could see him being used as a defensive back. That is both as a corner and a safety by Wink Martindale. He's a heavy hitter. I like Mekhi Garner out of LSU a lot. All right, guys. This is oh, there's another player here I like a lot. Corey Trice, 6'3", 206 pounds, out of Purdue. And I don't think he'll be there for us the next round. However, I'm going to get the guy who I think is the better overall talent, and that is the slot corner out of TCU. Again, listen, guys, he's small. He's 5'7". He can cover the slot. He's really, really, really good. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay. No, again, no trades. All right, so I'm trying to keep this. Mm. All right, here's another good center to keep your eye on. I forgot how to pronounce the name, but the center out of Michigan. I am going to go. All right, guys, I'm going to get us some more interior offensive line help over here. Let me check out the tackles. Nah, I think I missed that window on getting like a swing tackle. Let me check out the tight ends. No one I need to take right now. Wide receiver. All right, Michael Wilson. I have my eye on. I do. I am going to go, however, with Andrew Voorhees. What round is this? Fifth round. This guy's good value, man. This guy's good value. Assuming he tore his ACL, but assuming he's on track to mend okay, I'm gonna take Voorhees. All right, Michael Wilson's still there for us. Damn, we got Brenton Cox, edge out of Florida. The thing is, we're trying to keep this particular draft offensive centric. So far, we got offense. We got Flowers, Whippler, and Voorhees. All right. I should have taken a tight end earlier. That's what I should have done. I'm going to go Michael Wilson. I'm going to load up at wide receiver. I'm going to get some talent, more talent in that wide receiver room. Um, Aiden O'Connell for backup quarterback position. We can start looking at running backs too. Muhammad Ibrahim. Who else is there? Tell you what I'm going to do with this pick. I'm going to take Nick Herbig, edge out of Wisconsin. I don't think I think Herbig will be going a lot sooner than this. I will add a little more talent to the defensive side of the room. And let's see. The backup quarterbacks are pretty much gone. All right. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I can't take my wide receiver I normally take. All right, guys. I kept it as offensive centric as I possibly could. The value just isn't there anymore, to be honest. I'll get Davis Allen, tight end out of Clemson, just to add to the tight end room a little bit. Now I'm gonna Dwayne McBride. I'm not crazy about Dwayne McBride. All right. Yep, 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 yep. All right. So I missed out on running back as well. I did not do a very good job focusing on the offense this particular mock draft, I gotta say. All right, guys. You know what? I'll get us Dwayne McBride anyway, but the guy's got fumbling issues. Don't like it. And let's see. This is our final pick in this draft, and that is going to be. I'm going to take Anthony Orji, linebacker out of Vanderbilt. Like him a lot. Excellent special teamers. Oh, there's also safety, Christian Isian out of Rutgers. The Giants have met with him as well. I forgot. Have we taken? He's only 5'8" though. I can't do that. And I have not taken a safety. Oof, this is not a good mock draft at all. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go. I can't take a safety that short. I'm gonna take Anthony Orji. All right. So this is. I attempted to be offensive centric here, and man, the offensive players flew off the board faster than I thought. I did get Zay Flowers. I did get us a starting center in Luke Whippler out of Ohio State. And I got us a guy, Andrew Voorhees, in the fifth round, who, if it weren't for his torn ACL, would have been a solid third round pick. I got him in the fifth round. I'm looking to add depth. He doesn't need to compete just yet, but when he's healed, this guy could absolutely be one of our starting guards. I also added a little more to the wide receiver room. Michael Wilson. I realize we signed a lot of bodies in the wide receiver room this offseason. I don't think they're all necessarily going to make the cut. That includes Sterling Shepard. That also includes Jamison Crowder. I wouldn't be surprised if they if neither makes the final roster, the final 55 man roster. Um, okay, and I got us a running back, Dwayne McBride. Again, I'm not crazy about the dude. I see a lot of people kind of like listed as like a top 10 running back. Not on my board, uh, but I took him as just in case. I did want to get a running back, so I did that. And I got Davis Allen, who's a tight end who I kind of like. I don't think he'll never be a starting tight end, but I think he can be good depth out of Clemson. I like him a lot. Nick Herbig, I got him edge out of Wisconsin. He's not going to be there in the seventh round, but I took him. That dude's going to go a lot earlier than that. All right, so I'm going to do one last mock draft. I'm going to use the PFN mock draft simulator, and this is going to be just a real mock where what I would do. It's not going to be defensive centric. It's not going to be offensive centric. It's going to be what I would do and what I'm hoping the Giants will do. Okay, let me remove that. Stop share screen. Now I'm going to do share screen again. And let's see this one over here. There we go. All right, guys, you see that? No, because I have to add to stream. All right, here we go. All right, so again, 7 rounds, fast, New York Giants. This is it. Let's get it done. This is the final mock draft of this 2023 season for our beloved New York Giants. And again, this is not defensive centric. It's not offensive centric. It's just what I hope maybe we can wind up. I'm trying to do a good job here as a fake general manager for our beloved New York Giants. Again, I'm rejecting all trades. I'm not doing trades. All right, so Bijan Robinson's there. That's not realistic. He won't be falling to us. He's not going to make it out of the top 20. I think he's actually going to go top 12, top 15. Brian Breezy is there. And I am focused on defense. In real life, I am focused on defense um, for the first round. Uh, Zay Flowers is there. I don't think that's realistic. I love Zay Flowers. However, Kalijah Cansey, if he's there, he could be a real special talent on the defensive line, and I don't want to pass up on what he can be. I like Cansey more than Breezy. Uh, I'd also be cool with Breezy at number 25 too. I would not take Breezy over Zay Flowers, but I probably would take Cansey over Zay Flowers. I probably would. I'm gonna do it. I'm taking Cansey. I know everyone probably thinks I'm nuts taking Cansey over Zay Flowers, but I think there's really good wide receiver depth in this class. Really, really do. John Michael Schmitz is there. I think that's where I'm going. We also have Marvin Mims. You know what? I'm not gonna. I don't think the front office seems all that worried about the interior offensive line, which kind of scares me. But I don't think they're gonna be focusing on that until like at least rounds 3, 4, and 5. I'm gonna go with Marvin Mims Jr. here. Let me see if there's a cornerback because we do need corner help. Damn, those cornerbacks are all right. Tyreek Stevens is there. Um, all right. You know what? I'm gonna go with Tyreek Stevenson. Jalen Jones, Tyreek Stevenson. I'm gonna go cornerback. Um, man, Joe Tippmann's there too. I like Marvin Mims more than Rashi Rice. All right, guys. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go Tyreek Stevenson. Okay, third round. Let's see. Let's try to get an offensive player over here. What do we got over here? I'm definitely not going running back in the third round. No way. Tyler Scott. We took him in one of our earlier mocks. Tank Dell is there. Um, we need help at center. I think the Giants are going to wait on that. What do we have so far? All right. So we have a defensive tackle. We have a cornerback. I like Christopher Smith, safety. Oh man, I like him a lot. All right, I am. I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Tyler Scott just went. All right, let's see if oh, Jonathan Mingo's here. I like Jonathan Mingo. Okay. I like that. Jonathan Mingo. Charlie Jones is still there. Man, Charlie Jones is good. He's 5'11", 175 pounds. He's good. Mingo 6'1", 220. You know what? I'm going with Mingo, guys. I'd be happy with either of those players in the fourth round. Overall, I got to say this is a really solid draft. I'm doing a good job. Good job, Joe. Man, Charlie Jones is still there. I might want to double down at wide receiver. Let's check out. All right, let's check out some of these. I want to check out running back. We're in the fifth round. Um, well, it's a lot of my guys are gone. All right, they're gone. All right, tight end. Mm, Payne Durham, I could see us taking if we want to add depth. Let me check out offensive tackle because I kind of want to get like a guy who can compete for starting guard and be swing tackle. Antonio Mafi, but did we get? All right, I think I'm gonna take a center at this point. And we got all right, two centers right here at the top of the list for us. We got John Gaines, who is a athletic center. I like him a lot. You also have uh, Olu Oluwatami out of Michigan. Um, he's also let's see. I could see them going John Gaines. I can see that. I'm going John Gaines, guys. We're getting a center. We're getting him now. There's also Dorian Williams, who I like a lot. But you know what? We're gonna get our center right now. Damn, maybe I should have gone Dorian Williams. Is he still there? No, he's gone. Oh, he's probably the last. He's probably the last linebacker that I really cared about. Damn. Well, we already did get a cornerback, but I'm thinking of doubling down. Um, there's Marte Mapu. No, I don't think he'll be there for us when we pick again. I don't think he's gonna be there for us. Ojomo. This guy could be. He could be good depth in the defensive line. All right. I know what I'm going to do. I didn't get any edge depth for us. I'm going to take Mapu. This guy he could be like a safety, nickel, linebacker, versatile piece. Marte Mapu, that is, out of Sacramento State. That's why I took him. He's pretty unique. Aiden O'Connell's a backup quarterback. We're in the seventh round. Oh, we're still in round six. Okay. Um, all right. I'm looking at Antonio Mafi for guard depth. So far, we only have one offensive lineman. I think I like that actually. I think I like it. We only have John Gaines, and that's it. I kind of want to add a little more. I kind of like it. All right, let's do it. So saw Anthony Johnson Jr. out of Iowa State. All right, I'll pass on that. Oh, Chris Rodriguez. You know what, guys? I'm going to take a running back at this point. We got Ibrahim, Chris Rodriguez, Evan Hull, who I like a lot. No one seems to talk about me. He's only 5'7". Chris Rodriguez, all right. 5'11", 217 pounds. I'll take Chris Rodriguez out of Kentucky. I want to get us a backup running back. All right, let's check this out, guys. Let's check this out. What do we got over here? I'm going to take Anthony Orji, linebacker. Um, I'll add tight end over here. I think that's pretty cool. Josh Wiley, tight end out of Cincinnati. 6'6", 248 pounds. I don't mind adding a little depth to the tight end room. I'm starting to like Cincinnati talent more and more. All right, I will take Josh Wiley. And our final pick is going to be, let's see, it's going to be a defensive tackle. I think there's some guys here that I like Silvera out of Arizona State. At this point, is a seventh round pick. I also like Corey Durden. I'm going to take Durden. He's my guy. At this point, seventh round. All right, guys. So this is the final mock draft from New York Giants Corner for our beloved New York Giants for 2023. And let's see what we got here. And this is what I would kind of do. Elijah Cansey Feltus at 25. I took him. He's a special talent. I like him a lot. Tyreek Stevenson, intriguing athlete at cornerback out of Miami, the University of Miami, pick 57. Christopher Smith, safety out of Georgia. I like this dude a lot. He is a very sound player in the secondary out of Georgia. Georgia knows how to develop defensive players. Okay, so we started off this draft with three defensive players: Cansey on the line, Stevenson at cornerback, and Christopher Smith at safety. I got Jonathan Mingo, fourth round. I think Jonathan Mingo's not going past the third round. If we get him in the fourth round, I'm super psyched. I got him. Um, I did double down at wide receiver. Okay, I got Jonathan Mingo. I'm very happy with that pick in the fourth round. I got us a center. It went to the fifth round, but I think this may be realistic. It just, I think this Giants front office has been very good at holding its cards to their best, and not revealing, who they're interested in. Um, they've been making it sound like they're not really focused on the interior offensive line, that they're not really worried about it. That may just be a smokescreen. However, I'll go along, I'll play along with it. And I waited to the later rounds to take an offensive lineman on the interior, and I took John Gaines, the second out of UCLA. He's a good athletic interior offensive lineman, and I could see him fitting into our scheme. I took Marte Mapu. He's listed as a linebacker out of Sacramento State. He's really going to be a safety. The thing is, what I like about him is that he's played linebacker, and he's 6'2", only 217 pounds. He could be a nice big safety. I think he'd be a great fit in Wink's scheme, just moving this dude all over the place. mostly safety, maybe some nickel, and linebacker. So I really like him a lot. Chris Rodriguez, I got us a running back out of Kentucky. I like him a lot. I like him a lot out of Kentucky. 5'11", 217 pounds. This dude's a baller. He's been a baller at Kentucky. He's a hard runner. Anthony Orji, a linebacker out of Vanderbilt. He's kind of like one of my fallback draft guys here in the seventh round. I usually go for 6'1", 230 pounds. He's a good athlete, very good athlete. Good sideline to sideline skills, and he's a very good special team player. Uh, Also in the seventh round, I took Josh Wiley out of Cincinnati, 6'6", 248 pounds. Another good athlete. Again, like if we hadn't taken Waller, I would absolutely believe that this team would have taken a tight end earlier in this draft. But we did get Waller, and we have Bellinger, who I love. So that's why I waited to get another tight end. And then last but not least, I took Corey Durden, who I don't believe actually will be here in the seventh round. I think he's more of a sixth round pick, fifth round guy, but he's there. I took him. He's one of my guys I like in the seventh round in this simulation. So anyway, that is the final mock draft for this 2023 New York Giants draft. And that's it, guys. I did again, you know what? I did focus on defense again, not intentionally, but I liked the value I was seeing there in this particular draft class on the defensive side of the ball. But I did get us Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver, and I did get us John Gaines, talented center out of UCLA. And I got us another running back out of Kentucky, Chris Rodriguez, uh, and Josh Wiley. So it was mostly defensive centric here in the final draft. I love the picks that we got though. Cansey, Stevenson, Smith. I love it, love it, love it. I think we got a steal here in the latter part of the draft with Marte Mapu. Really like it a lot. Anyway, guys, that is a wrap. That is it. So the final draft, the final. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see this comment earlier. Giovanni, thanks for checking in again. She says, I say at 25, they should go for Addison. Giovanni, if Addison's there at 25, I'll be very happy if they take him. He is a player I would not complain about at all. And I think he may be. I I do think it's most likely, Giovanni, that the top four wide receivers are going to be gone. And that is Zay Flowers, Jackson Smith Najigba, Addison. I, those three are going to be gone by the time we pick. I strongly believe that. If Addison is there, I have no problem taking him at all. He is worthy of a first round pick, Jordan Addison. And I'd be super psyched. I wouldn't complain at all. I wouldn't complain. So anyway, guys, that is it. I went over for like almost an hour and 10 minutes. I meant to keep it to an hour, but what can I say? Just too many good mock drafts to do and take care of. But anyway, guys, I'm pretty much out of here. Let me just wrap up the show with the ending bells and whistles. If you can, here are the Twitter handles for me and my compadres here at Toss the Titles. If you can give them a follow, that'd be great. We cover NFL football. I cover the Giants. We cover college football. We cover NFL draft. We cover the XFL. Anything to do with football, we cover here at Toss the Titles and at the CFB Nation. Check us out. Please subscribe. Really help out. It really helps us out a lot. Again, these are the Twitter handles for me and my colleagues here at the two networks. And also, if you can, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell, give us that 5-star Apple review. Everything like that helps us out a lot. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Giants fans, enjoy the draft tomorrow night. I should say this weekend. And tomorrow night, I'm going to be out with my friends at a local watering hole watching the draft with like 5 or 6 guys. However, Friday night, I am going to be covering rounds 2 and 3 live here at From Home for Toilets and Titles. I'll be covering, I'll be live for rounds both 2 and 3 on Friday night. Yes, both rounds. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting weekend. Everyone, thank you for checking it out. Really, really appreciate you checking in. Giovanni Reyes, thank you so much. Diggs, thank you so much. Nate, thank you so much. Now, Dennis, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, guys. Everybody, enjoy the draft weekend, especially my fellow Giants fans. Have a good night. Take care, everyone.